Before I even finished my postgraduate studies at Bocconi, I was already making about €1,000 a day working as a cultural consultant for fashion and luxury brands. 4 years ago when I first started, it wasn't a profession that was very known to many people, and 4 years later, it's still quite unknown. However, it's a perfect career choice for those who have a very intimate understanding of more than two cultures, could be an international student, and someone who is also genuinely curious and passionate about learning through their careers. My name is Richard. I work as a cultural and strategy consultant in the fashion and luxury sector here in Milan, Italy. And on this channel, I share everything that I've learned from my personal and professional life as a 30-something-year-old figuring out life. Essentially, a cultural consultant is someone that provides expertise and guidance on navigating cultural nuances, understanding cultural dynamics, and helping businesses adapt their strategies to different cultural contexts. While cultural consultants can work across a range of different functions from logistics, operations to management, my personal experience working in fashion and luxury has been focused mostly on marketing and communications. So what exactly do cultural consultants do? In short, it is a very fluid profession. For example, if you are helping a company to enter a new market, your responsibility could involve providing a cultural assessment and analysis. Or if you're tasked to help a company optimize their existing businesses in another market, then it could be marketing or branding driven or strategy localization. It's about solving a crisis, then it could be related to negotiation and conflict resolution. If it's about market visit with company executives, which I have done a lot this year, then your responsibilities might include providing cultural immersion and awareness training for the executives. From my own personal perspective, before I graduated from my master's, I also considered the possibility of going down traditional consulting. For example, going to BCGs or Bain's or McKinsey's. However, besides my obvious distaste for working in a corporate environment, one of the biggest challenges that I had with going into traditional consulting is it lacks the critical elements of a meaningful job. Space for failure, autonomy, and growth opportunity. It's actually a point that was made perfectly clear by Steve Jobs at one of his earlier speeches. And he said, without owning something over an extended period of time, like a few years, where one has a chance to take responsibility for one's recommendations and see them through all action stages and accumulate scar tissue for the mistakes and pick oneself up off the ground and dust oneself off, one learns a fraction of what one can. So in short, I didn't want to go into a profession where I was only giving recommendations without taking responsibility or ownership of the results. However, it is a very different scenario when you work as a cultural consultant because your expertise and your guidance come from your lived experience as someone who has to survive, live, and thrive in an entirely different culture, which is the case for many people these days, especially if you are, let's say, an international student. And the way you live through these experiences is just like running a business to a certain extent. You meet challenges in a foreign environment, and then you have to come up with a strategy to survive, and then you implement the strategy, and after a while, you figure out whether or not the strategy has worked. When you are working as a cultural consultant, you are giving recommendations, and very often also taking ownership of the results. Because very often you're the only person in the room who is able to help clients to contextualize their challenges and solutions. So now comes the fun question, how much does a cultural consultant make? It varies. When I first started off about 4 years ago, I was starting at about €150 an hour. Mind you, I was working as a freelancer. However, over the past few years, I've also had the privilege of working with cultural consultants from the US, from UK, from Germany and Netherlands. And the hourly rate can really range across different industries, different markets. I've seen anything from €100 all the way to about €500 an hour. Another scenario is project-based. This is the way I work now. I work with clients and we define the project, and then I charge them a lump sum fee for my service. I think there are a few. It's a combination of soft and hard skills. First of all, being empathetic. I think a lot of times the challenges that clients and businesses are facing are very obvious and very easy to understand for people like myself or even you who have always been exposed to a multicultural environment. However, most times it's not obvious or easy to understand for people who have not been exposed to that environment. So your ability to be patient and empathetic is extremely crucial in establishing a trust with the clients and help them contextualize the challenges that they have. And second of all, I think it's a language requirement. When you are working as a cultural consultant, you're dealing with clients and suppliers and other stakeholders across different markets. So a proficient level of English is almost non-negotiable, and plus your mother tongue. And here in Europe, most of the cultural consultants also speak a third language as a bonus. And the third skill is communication skill. And what I mean by that is the ability to articulate and communicate cultural differences in a clear and constructive manner to organizations or to clients so they can understand the challenges at hand. And fourthly, it's your critical thinking and problem-solving skills. When I receive a brief, a company clearly has a set of challenges that they wanted to address. So your ability to dissect and deconstruct their challenges and come up with actionable plans is extremely crucial. Lastly, I think it is a skill that truly separates a great cultural consultant from being just a good one. And in fact, I think it is something that can be applied to all the industries, and that is interdisciplinary thinking. Cultural consulting is a very layered job, and it is extremely fluid because culture in itself is dynamic and fluid. So your ability to apply concepts and learnings and frameworks from other industries and disciplines to the one that you are working on is extremely appreciated and useful. It helps to come up with creative solutions that are otherwise difficult to find if your mind doesn't have the mental agility to think interdisciplinarily, if that's even a word. And now it's dark outside and it's freezing. I hope you enjoyed this videos, and thank you again for joining me on this little walk in Milan. If you have any questions about the profession or just life in general in Milan, please leave me a comment and I will be happy to read them and reply to them. And until next time, we'll talk soon. Bye bye.